when they originally did it, he did die. Jonathan had a heart attack and was in between life and death and helped bring his soul, Superman's soul, back. So that was worked into like the story, Return of Superman storyline before the Reign of Superman. Like it did happen. So we're going to stick with the original storyline like for this, but
no retcons here.
Yep, no retcons. Well, go around. Like, what did everybody? We all read the story. What did you all think about with the storyline?
This is the best. This is the best series of comics we've read yet.
Agreed.
I mean, I already knew that going into it, but
you got Dan Jurgens and Brett Breeding. Like they're just the Superman writers.
They are.
I'm already biased. Because Death of Superman was the first comic I ever read. So.
Same.
The writer. I started reading just a little bit before Death of Superman, but hearing the word about Death of Superman kind of got me going looking at comics. And I think issue number 400, Incredible Hulk, was the first one I picked up. It was just a beautiful cover, and picked it up, started reading that. It's then at the same time period that's when Death of Superman started coming out. That's the same time period featured Perfect as well. We did read over last week. So 1992 was kind of like the 91, 92, around the 1992 time period when I started reading comics and got into them heavy. Then been hooked for a long time. Less mainstream stuff now. I do pick up the Transformers. That's more mainstream, and but I like the independent comics now too. You get a little more originality of it, and I think the writing's more true to what it used to be as well in the independent stuff.
Yeah, I still pick up.
They know what hero. They don't really seem to know what heroes are in the mainstream comics.
No, I still pick up like modern. Like I just got a handful of Superman comics the other day, Superman and Action Comics and stuff like that. But I don't know anything about the story. I've even cracked them open. I just got them. I was like, oh, that's a cool cover. Oh, I like that cover. Oh, that looks good.
Right. No, that's kind of my same movement for buying like books and comic books now. It's like growing up in the 90s, they always said, don't judge a book by its cover. I mean, I'm kind of only buying comic books based on the cover now because I already know that modern comics aren't going to be exactly what I like. Because, like you, I miss when superheroes were just good people.
Yeah.
Like, superheroes now, they feel like they're written to be not just mouthpieces, but what's it called? Performative. Like the activism in comics now is performative. It's not real.
Well, plus too, the personality of the characters, they think if you want to be a hero, you got to be a narcissist.
Yeah.
Right.
And back in the day, superheroes were selfless. That's kind of one of the big things with Superman. He sacrificed himself to save everybody else. With the plot, the story, like one of the things I loved in the comics, like there were several issues beforehand. You saw the fist pounding on the wall more, and it happened like several issues. Like you had one page of the fist pounding, and each time the fist would like start revealing more of the claws and the wall getting more damaged. Yep, there it is.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
And see, Doomsday was coming there wasn't much. To me, that was more exciting than when they did recently. They just said Bendis is coming. It's like when they ruined.
But which was scarier?
Bendis, because I quit reading Superman comics after that.
Yep.
I read Superman comics since 1992 till Michael Bendis. Michael Bendis was ruined. He don't know how to write people. He cannot write families at all. First thing he did was break up the Superman and Lois and artificially age up Jonathan and break up Super Sons. That's Sad's point. We're talking about.
We're talking about good comics.
With the
we're talking about a good comic.
The story begins. The mysterious creature, later named Doomsday, is unleashed from the containment suit deep underground. The Doomsday rampages across America, destroying everything in his path. He's almost unstoppable. The iconic scene of him, the little bird landing in his hand, he just like squashes it. And it's engine of unstoppable force, engine of destruction. It's like the League does show up, but it's kind of like the B team or C team. You got Blue Beetle, Ted Cord, you got Booster Gold, Guy Gardner, Fire Ice, Bloodwind, and Maximus somewhat too.
Specifically not Green Lantern Guy Gardner.
Yes.
They make a big point of that.
When he has the Sinestro Yellow Ring. So it's not the most powerful versions of Guy. Really, a lot of the characters, Booster, Bloodwind, and Guy is really the only. I guess you can put Fire as pretty kind of heavy hitter, but Ice seems like she don't realize she can use ice.
She uses it like twice in the entire. Like,
yeah. If you got ice powers, seems like you would be wanting to build like ice walls to like stop trying to contain Doomsday, but she did not even attempt it. But I think I always like to used to joke around like Doomsday's secondary power is to make the other characters around him forget how to use their powers.
Yeah.
Right. Because all right, so anytime Doomsday attacks in comics, it seems like everybody just becomes the opposite of their character. Batman uses no strategy. He's like, I want the ones. Give me hands, Doomsday. Like, brother, you are a human.
It's not in this story, but when they brought Doomsday back later on when he did fight the League, he takes out the Flash by throwing another Leaguer at him. It's like, when he's using the Speed Force, that's not possible. He's protected.
Guy Gardner could have picked up Doomsday and flung him into space, or at least carried him into space at least once or twice there.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like
fight over. Throw him to the moon. He's done. He's stuck there.
He was using his ring more as a blaster than making anything. And this is
the first Doomsday kind of, right? So, like, okay, I know that what we know as comic fans that you can't end Doomsday twice in the same way, but they didn't know that. Why didn't Guy, like Sis said, why didn't Guy Gardner fling him into the sun?
Not even in the sun. He just, you live on Jupiter now. You can never escape. That's your home now.
Right.
There's nothing to kill.
With the Yellow Ring, he can travel in space, so he could actually take him to Mars or anything. Venus, which Venus would probably be more like the atmosphere of Krypton when Doomsday was made, but
either Darth's right and he's too overwhelming, everyone panics, or his skeleton, like his bone protrusions, have the same hypnotic effect that Superman's glasses do. And so they just, stupid juice all of a sudden.
But when Superman shows up, the first thing he does, he lets Doomsday hit him full force and it stops him, but then Doomsday just gives him like a roundhouse kick and kicks him through a building, through a house. That
is his kick that much more powerful than his fist? Because
martial arts, it kind of kicks are more powerful than punches, so that makes sense.
I mean, your legs are like the second most powerful muscle you have in your body. So.
Plus, too, he was fighting with one hand behind his back, so.
Yeah. It took me a second to realize that he still had one arm trapped behind his back. And I was like, oh, he flipped a bus with his one arm on his back. Okay.
And, the artwork was beautiful throughout the story.
Yes. Was it Guise? His art was my favorite.
Hey, listen. Later, what is it? Near the end of the original DC gritty hardcore run, all of their art was just beautiful. Like 90s comics were different. 90s comics were just different.
Which Maxima, like they did have like right in the story, like don't keep her out of like the end fight because she is extremely powerful. She is probably like of all the different leaguers there, she was the most powerful. And
Yeah.
Kevin, you probably know. I can't quite remember when Bloodwind was in the storyline. Was it actually Bloodwind, or was it Martian Manhunter pretending to be Bloodwind?
I don't remember.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
say
I read it, but there were so many parts. It was hard to keep track for me at the time to keep track of it.
so. There's a part later where I think it's Blue Beetle sees Bloodwind in the fire, and he says, "Oh, that's the only thing that makes sense. He's actually," and then it leaves it blank. So I'm assuming he saw Martian Manhunter in there.
Yeah. Why was it that Martian Manhunter pretended to be Bloodwind for a while? It's not important to the storyline, but it's just I was just good.
He wanted that nifty white suit with the red cape.
Bloodwind was a cool looking character. Like, he was a real character, but Martian Manhunter would pretend to be him too for a while. So I don't know. Which you don't see Bloodwind anymore.
No.
The one thing too, they didn't skip on like the civilians like talking and like characters within the story. So
Yeah.
you had the family, like the Imperial. I don't know how the leaguers that are the only human durability even survived. Ted Cord, what he went through for Doomsday, I'm sorry. That should have killed him.
It should have been like when Omni-Man takes Darkwing and smacks him on the ground. That's what it should have looked like.
And he pretty much, the way it's drawn, it's like he breaks Ice's back.
Yeah.
But no, she's. They did one of the things they did do, like to get Maxima out of the story too. Like they had to convince her to rush Blue Beetle to the hospital to keep him from dying.
Mm-hmm.
Really, at the time level, the power level of Doomsday, was stronger. If Maxima would have worked with Superman, they could have took Doomsday down without Superman having to die.
Little pile driver.
Yeah, but
I liked that panel when Lois is like, "I'm gonna go help him," and then immediately,
punch in the butt.
Listen. All of us write and do art for comics of our own. We all know sometimes you got to fridge your best players for the story you want to happen. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and it was brutal. Like with the, this is the time too. It's like rarely you'd ever see blood in the comics that would color it black. But
I saw a lot of white in the early issues of this.
Yeah.
In the one that I've got.
The original release when it came out, they didn't censor them. We got a Chinese copy.
Possibly, I don't know. It might have just been because of the way it was lit up. It just looked white, but
I think it's hilarious that that China censors blood as white.
Yeah.
Bright glowing.
Yeah, congratulations! It doesn't look like blood. It looks like something else.
Yeah. A bloody face looks like a different connotation than a Japanese comic.
Yeah, but with when Superman shows up, they're battling back and forth, going destruction everywhere. Cadmus tries to step in and help out, and even Emil tries to shoot Doomsday and don't work out too well for me.
Yep, Maggie and Dan Turpin show up, and
Maggie Sawyer is was a great character back then too. Like until they kind of ruined her character later on, but she was a really good character for the time. Then they decided to turn her into like a love interest to Renee Montoya,
Yeah.
and kind of like completely changed her personality and took
I
her out
like,
of the
you know, of course, my introduction to these characters was Superman the Animated Series. So Maggie and Dan were awesome in that show.
Mm-hmm.
And she just kind of faded. Kind of like Mercy. We don't really see Mercy anymore, even though she was awesome.
Yep. Now this is the time period too when Booster's futuristic suit was destroyed by Doomsday. When he exhausted his power, Doomsday just shredded the suit, and they actually tried to build him like a modern suit, a suit in the time period. It's more like an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
So the futuristic fabric, high-end fabric, technological fabric, whatever you want to call it. But it was a lot of good stuff in that story, and it had long-term repercussions through comics and the real world. The final scene when he knew he had to do everything he could to basically sacrifice himself to stop Doomsday.
His hand wrapped around that neck.
That neck, though.
That final double-fisted blow will basically swing both each other and they kill each other. Which Superman hangs on just for a few moments longer, just to die in Lois's arms. It's kind of an iconic scene. Which we had the Mafex coming out. Darth's bringing up they are doing the Death Superman 2-pack, replicating the DC icons.
Yeah. This one's still going to be worth more money, though.
Oh yeah, a lot more rare piece. Since the other one's going to be
Mass produced.
Right.
Don't worry, I'll buy the Mafex one too, but it'll be a good comparison video. It'll be a good comparison.
Yeah. We should come back when it comes out and do a side by side.
The legacy on the whole thing is Death Superman came one of the best selling books of all time. That and X-Men #1 are the top 2 selling books ever, I believe.
Oh, and fun fact about Death of Superman for Superman's popularity. After Death of Superman, Superman became almost as identifiable to people around the world as Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's
that is something crazy to think about. Think about it like this: 20% of these people didn't know who Superman was until he died.
Yeah, well, plus too the historical context of the whole thing. Death Superman kind of started the entire comic book speculators things, people in the 90s. The big boom of people buying massive amounts of comics, think they're going to have a fortune in comics when they're ready to retire. The market hype of the famous black bag Superman, the number 75, and the armbands, our obituary cards, and the mainstream media knew let's cover Superman like it was real. The story itself created as an unstoppable force in nature, kind of backstory at the time, just pure destruction. Just the defeat it, showcase Doomsday's powers, raise the stakes. I do from what I can remember, they floated around a couple different origins for Doomsday. After the fact, I like the one they didn't go with better if it's real, if I remember correctly. And one of the origins was supposed to be he was a lost demigod, which to me is cooler than basically a technological golem, what they made him into be.
Yeah. I don't know. He just seemed very technological golem in this because, he's like laughing and evil laughter and like
Yeah.
he's got expression. He
Right,
even
yeah.
speaks.
Yeah, he even
Trying to
talks
say
to Superman.
Metropolis.
So the whole concept, and plus it makes more sense too. What is one of Superman's vulnerabilities? Magic. And if you made him like a lost demigod, I don't think they should ever brought him back too. I think they should have like kept Doomsday a one and done type thing, and let him be the demigod thing, and just they could have some flashback tales or something with him. But I kind of cheapened the experience after they just keep bringing them back. I understand too the marketing aspect too of keep bringing them back because hey, we got this really cool character we made like he was on par of Superman, but Superman finally able to stop him.
And I will argue the fact that they could have brought Doomsday back if they used the demigod story, if he was like a lesser demigod of like erasure or like extinction. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, all Kryptonians were supposed to go extinct that day. You gotta go, bro. Like, and I'm gonna keep coming back until you're gone. Like,
What do you think, Kevin?
Oh, as far as well, I don't know. I was fine with the way the character. I guess I'm fine with the way the character was presented, and I didn't need. I don't mind having a little story where they showed how he came to be, but I don't. I agreed that they should have kept him dead because I think they're using him so much.
Yeah.
And it cheapens kind of how special it is, or the event was, or it doesn't. It reduces the weight of it.
Yep.
I think there was I don't know. It was just ride the wave. I'm seeing. It's like this. I'm bothered with the way he's presented in media sometimes too, because it doesn't. We keep getting kind of. Lackluster or half measured versions of him without going far with. I mean, it was really annoying in the Snyder stuff that they just, here's 10, 15, 20 minutes of him at the very end of a movie, and it never gave it any weight. I think
it's making his origins tied to Zod.
Yeah.
And Snyder versus the Snyder.
And I just
hate it. Like Snyder, some of the stuff Snyder did was just absolutely stupid.
Yeah, the thing about it is it should be, if you're going to do that story, it should be as heavy as what the comics was. It should have some emotional weight to it, and the character shouldn't just be a one and done, like in terms of the movie. Yep. Like here's 15 minutes devoted to explaining him or giving him any screen time. The thing about it, the thing that I enjoyed about the gravitas of what he was made to be is you had the editorial, and whoever's creating the thing came up with this great idea that he was making his way slowly across the country, and all these characters were trying to fight him and stop him before he made it to Metropolis or whatever. And they even, the great thing about it, at least an editorial, was a smart idea, was that the artists, and they came up with this idea of the story technique of every issue, at least grinding down towards the climax of the story, was the art. Every issue was 6 panels. You have an issue that was 6 panels or 8 panels or whatever. The next issue was six panels, and then the next issue was 5 panels a page, and the next issue was 3 panels a page. Next issue was 2 panels a page, and then the final big deal was these splash pages. So everything kind of had a almost, it was like a crescendo. Everything was building, and and that's what you wanted out of the movies was, or at least I would like to have seen is building towards something, making it special.
I think
And-
the animated version of with the setting like in the new 52 timeline
Mhm.
that was better done than anything Snyder did.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And plus, I like the fact Doomsday was fighting A-list Justice League, not
Not the backups to the
Not the
backups.
Not the bench warmers.
the character was so popular, and that's why a lot of these shows and movies tried to capitalize off Doomsday, but they did it just so badly. I mean, they had him in Smallville, and
Yeah.
you're going, well, Superman hasn't even become Superman yet. Why is he in
you have
Smallville? And
Smallville and like the Krypton series.
yep, and
Yeah.
so it just cheapens. Well, not
Lois
cheapens.
Lane
But-
show recently.
It just shows a lack of understanding for a lot of these people, and I include Snyder with that in the way he handled it, was because they don't understand it was supposed to be a big deal. It was this character is supposed to be a big deal. First of all, he's scary. He's this big. He's more powerful than Superman, and this is the death of Superman, and you want to treat it like that, not just a throwaway character, and that's what it felt like the last 20 minutes of Batman versus Superman. It was just a
Oh, yeah.
throwaway few minutes. Anyway, that's just from my perspective of it.
What do you think about am I remembering correctly that there were multiple? There were a couple of different origins they were going with, and they with the demigod thing. I might be just be like.
I never heard of it directly myself. But then again, there were less avenues for communication back in the day when you had a couple of trade magazines, like you had Wizard, and then you had maybe Comic Scene, and then there was that one. It was like a newsprint comic. We didn't have a lot of ways to communicate spoilers or inside information and things like that. We didn't have internet at that time, so everything. Yeah, exactly. There was no way to know that all these things were going on and these ideas were going on until much later. So I never heard it at that time. I never heard quite that story.
I don't remember where I heard it from, but I do remember that there was talk about him being possibly a lost demigod at one time. It might be some show I watched. I don't know. I can't remember. It's 30-some years ago.
But they did have that Doomsday miniseries right around, was it close to 0 Hour or something like that? And remember they had a Doomsday miniseries where they were explaining his backstory and all that stuff.
Hunter Prey touched on a story too. His background. That's when they showed like where he was basically a technological golem. Like the scientists kept sending the baby out into the atmosphere for like a uninhabitable Krypton.
Yeah.
Every time he get killed, they'd reclone the baby.
Yep.
A forced evolution.
I might be thinking of Hunter Prey. It may be it, but I just.
But there was like a Doomsday miniseries too.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like the miniseries kind of like expanded upon that. With that, they were explaining like why he hated Superman so much. He saw Kryptonians as the alien that kept killing him over and over.
Yeah.
That doesn't really explain why he wants to kill everybody else, though.
Yeah.
Other than
I still like the idea of just being an evil, lost demigod.
See, sis, understand me when I say this. You've never been in real beef. If you were in real beef, anybody standing in my way gotta get it too.
Yeah. Well, in 2000, we had that 2007 Superman Doomsday movie. I quite liked it. It wasn't very accurate. It was like its own take on it. But in that, Doomsday was basically a biological bomb, a war machine that was dropped by a society that basically made him, but then had no ability to kill him, and so they flushed him on a different faraway planet to get rid of him. And I felt like that was a pretty.
Literally, I wash my hands of it, and it's no longer my problem.
Basically, yeah. We made him. He did his job, but now we can't stop him, so we have to put him somewhere. Oh, here's a backwater planet with just microorganisms on it. We can put him here.
You know what? And here's my thing about these types of stories, right? The society that created this thing, they are smart enough to create life that is almost indestructible, right? They are smart enough to create space travel, right? Okay, we got these two things. Why aren't we charting to the nearest star, shooting this man on a nuke towards that star? Like, why is it always, hey, let's send him to this uninhabited planet that may evolve life within the 1,000 years it takes him to get there? Like, am I crazy? Am I crazy for thinking that?
You are crazy, but probably not for that reason.
Probably not for that. There are
One thing too, I don't like when they made it the technological golem thing where why is in that containment suit is basically a funeral garb. That don't make sense too. Why is he restrained? I can understand the robes being put on a funeral garb, but the restraints,
Also, how do they get him in the restraints? I mean,
this is an ancient prison than anything.
Right. We can contain them, but we can't.
Plus, the ground is all grown up, woods, so it's been there for a long, long time. So it makes no sense if he can revive himself within like hours to months or whatever it is, depending on how he gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
How would be enough time for it to be crash on the earth, a road back smooth, plant life and trees grow back, the wooded area where you'd never tell there was an impact there?
Yeah.
That means it had to be in the earth for at least 100 years.
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. That Superman Doomsday movie, it had the best origin, in my opinion. He was basically a biological weapon that the creators couldn't control or kill anymore, and so they somehow got him contained to that ship and sent him to Earth like 6,000 years ago, and it was buried under Earth, and everything came up over it. And
yeah, I do like that. I do wish we could have got the reign of the Superman instead of just the Superman clone.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I didn't like the story.
In my opinion, I say Doomsday story can't be done right unless it's across 6 different movies with 6 different heroes. Like, we get a Wonder Woman movie where Doomsday starts in California, headed towards Metropolis. Wonder Woman can't beat him. Boom. Then we get like a Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, in Nebraska, fights him, can't beat him. Boom. That's the second movie. Third movie.
I'm 100% with you there. Batman v Superman should have built up. The WB people, they wanted to go to Avengers immediately. They didn't want to build their universe.
Yeah.
We should have had Superman. Then we should have had the Wonder Woman movie. Then we should have had a Batman movie. The new Green Lantern movie when they would have done that. And Aquaman. Then get a Justice League type movie.
I think having the team up movie as the second was a bad choice, but it would have worked a whole lot better if they had omitted the Dark Doomsday story from the get-go.
Yes,
they
didn't need to kill.
If they had just contained it to those 3 characters and them fighting it until they realized they're not actually their enemies, each other's enemies, that would have been a more.
Well, they could have used the 2 to start setting up for like Darkseid too, and maybe have Assad go up or something other, like trying to make a deal with Intergang or Lex or somebody. And
they had too many irons in the fire. It suffered from the same issue that Spider-Man 3 suffered from. Is like, oh, we've got this villain. Oh, we've got a second villain. Oh, we got a third villain. We got three storylines going on at once, and we only need to be really focusing on one.
Yep.
Do that one better.
If they were gonna do multiple villains, they should have just went full camp and got the Legion of Doom in the swamp and the giant helmet building and everything. Like they should have just went full camp if they were gonna do that.
Solomon Grundy want pants too.
Solomon Grundy born on a Monday. Right, it's Wednesday.
That would be a great movie like do a Solomon Grundy movie. If you have
yeah.
Yeah, who is a magical golem.
And have the events of the movie happen literally within 7 days. Don't even have the heroes actually beat Solomon Grundy. It's just the 7th day and he goes back to his grave. Like, that's a scary thought that this dude can just wake up on a Monday and wreck our shit for 7 days. Like, that could be some background
I wouldn't oppose to just do villain movies in the told in their perspective,
and they have to actually be villains.
Yes,
not villains.
Heroes like what Sony's been doing with all Spider-Man's villains. Let them be villains and tell the story. Okay. Kind of like when Aaron was explaining his story last night with Kneel Before Doomface. It's told in the villain's perspective.
Yep, he's gonna do things. He's gonna do things that you're uncomfortable with. That's the point.
Yes.
He's gonna be a villain.
No. We have it from Solomon Grundy's perspective, but every time we go to his POV behind his eyes, in his head, he's like, I am not understanding why these people come at me with such aggression. I am just trying to inform them of my life cycle. I don't understand it. And then he just bites the dude's head off, but outwardly he's like, Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. Like, if we're gonna do comic book movies, do them like comic books. Comic books are both serious and goofy at the same time. The heroes are good people just doing good things because it's good to do. Unless you're like the Punisher and it's like, we're doing this for revenge and revenge feels good. But still, they're doing it because it feels good. And villains are villains because to them, being a villain feels good. Like that's what comics used to be, and that's what comic book movies used to be. But,
with going back with the main story we were talking about with the Death of Superman, though, some of the impacts too with Death of Superman, it became a gimmick for a while to kill your character off, bring them back, and is always like a driving force for sales. It's like, oh, let's kill so-and-so character. Then we'll bring in somebody and replace them for a while. Then we'll later we'll bring the original one back.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be Rickles right after this. We had Breaking of the Bat, Nightfall. Then you had you had Hal's Fall, which I actually liked Hal's Fall even better. Which I hate the retcon too on that, but
yeah.
Jordan's Fall.
This is why I hate the current comic book run, because for coming out of DC, because they broke up Super Sons, which kept Batman dead and let Damian be Batman. I love that. I love Damian as Batman because him trying to figure out how he wants to be Batman was a beautiful story to me, because he couldn't be Bruce because he's not Bruce.
With the Death of Superman, what was the bigger impact itself of the story? Was it the death of Superman or how it impacted the entire world?
I think the stuff that came after the world without Superman was the bigger impact, because it showed us how Jimmy Olsen and Lois went about being reporters without that button to call when they were in trouble. You saw them move more cautious, you know what I'm saying? And seeing the rest of the heroes kind of scramble to fill that power vacuum left by Superman, that was okay, yeah, you kind of see without the big blue Boy Scout, people move different. Like that was a bigger impact to me. Like it actually showed the importance of Superman in the DC universe.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, somebody with a loud diesel just went up the road and drove the dogs crazy and they started barking.
Asshole.
No, and he was purposely making his truck rev
Asshole.
at almost 9 o'clock at night, and there he goes again.
And
That's the South for you.
okay, JB, I'm assuming you're frozen because otherwise you are winning the standing still competition. Big time.
Facts. So mannequin challenge achieved.
World record.
I'm telling you, man. Like, hold on, Guinness. We got this recorded right now.
What?
You were frozen for like a solid 10, 20
I looked
minutes.
at that. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm frozen, so I had to turn it off. It's-
You won the mannequin challenge. You're
You're him. Timothy Jones.
Weeping Angels got nothing on you.
Nothing.
Yeah.
What do you think, JB?
What made the
About-
story memorable to you, JB?
Probably the impact after the death of Superman. About the world without him. I agree with that whole statement of that.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna let the pup out.
Maybe you can go bite the
Because-
guy with the truck.
Because honestly, it's basically seeing the world what it's like, like they stated, without Superman. So we're seeing how is everybody doing without him. Like
Mhm.
how was everybody in Metropolis and all the heroes doing without him? Because it's a very big impact on everybody, including of us, because we're losing one of the world's first and greatest superheroes at that time. So
Yeah.
it's
It's
kind of like that.
Superman generated a lot of positivity and hope, and when you remove that, it leaves a really big vacuum where there is no
Yes.
positive hope anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
And
they say.
dare I say, this is a little off topic, no off topic tangent while we wait for the host to come
We,
back.
we don't do off topic here ever.
I mean, it's on brand, but off topic, if that makes sense. But I feel like that's
I
the
look like a
same.
weirdo.
I feel like that's the same of a Batman from the world's finest and Batman versus Superman in the original comic book run. I think that's the same sentiment Batman had. That without Superman being the big blue Boy Scout, the world kind of like goes to shit. So I got to kind of take you out, like let you die a hero before you live to become the villain type of mentality. And I think that they've shown that across several comics, and I think people still don't get it. Like
Yeah.
Superman is him. Like the world is completely different without him. Even in other realities where like Superman gets trapped in the Phantom Zone, or Superman is taken by the government and locked away, or when Superman is incapacitated for some reason or quits being Superman in the universe, it's completely different from Earth 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or if Superman lands in Russia, like it's completely different.
Well, it's one, two, the storyline like this, just going back with like it showed like even the strongest hero can fall in the right circumstances. With the
Mhm.
Unless
But
you're
why do
Goku, and someone who can kill you actually makes you want to get stronger. Right.
But they did stick to after the story. They did keep Superman dead for a year in the comics. They actually kind of rebranded their stuff, like had different characters like taking over. They didn't publish Superman for a while, but they had Action Comics starring Supergirl. It says Superman. The Superman comics, of course, didn't start back up until the Return of Superman.
Yeah.
Then you had the Reign of the Superman, like each one of those characters taking a position in those books. Cyborg Superman, Action Comics was Eradicator, Adventures of Superman was Superboy, and Man of Steel was John Henry Irons. Like reading back, like Seth, you asked me like, what's the deal with this Supergirl when you first reread this?
Yeah, I was a little lost when she was hanging out with Superman or Lex. The thing that got me was when she got turned into purple goo, and I was like, wait a minute.
That's not Kara Zor-El, the Supergirl.
Yeah.
It's Matrix.
Yeah.
Which they actually used Matrix to help bring back Clark Kent after the Death of Superman. Because she's a shapeshifter. The Matrix thing, whatever you want to call it, is a shifter. And during like one of the fights afterwards, when Superman came back, they found survivors in rubble, like was still trapped after the Doomsday fight. So they had Supergirl pose as Clark Kent, and Superman dig him out of the rubble. It's like, oh, I was trapped in blah blah blah. Like, we were trapped for a year. And what is your?
It happens. It happens. Each other. Donner Party. It's a Donner cut.
So, who here has had or still has the black polybag?
Never had it.
I got one.
Keep in mind, this comic came out 4 years before I was born, so.
That's no excuse. That's just slacker talk. You should have pre-ordered that, had that ordered from the book before you was even born.
Mm-hmm. I thought I was doing pretty good getting a first edition of the graphic novel version, so I felt pretty good about that.
Kevin, do you have a copy of it?
He's busy with Peacemaker.
Sorry. No, I didn't actually keep anything in the bag. You got to understand, like, I started collecting in the early '80s,
Mm-hmm.
and so by the time all that stuff came around with the polybags, it was already like a fad, and I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I knew it was like, hey, here's the problem with anybody trying to collect this thing, is that you keep it in the bag, it's probably going to yellow the comic faster because of the acid. And I was like, if you keep it in the bag, yeah, somebody might say, hey, look, it's immaculate, it's still in the bag. But the problem is the comic that you want to be valuable is going to be getting really nasty and yellow much faster. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. I didn't keep it in the bags at all. And
I didn't think about the bags actually having acid in them, like the.
It causes it to yellow faster. Yeah, and
well, I say mine's quite yellow. I got the steel polybag.
Well, as long as you don't open it, it's Schrodinger's comic.
Yes,
it's both in perfect condition and ruined at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was kind of more of a joke. By the time they started doing that stuff, it was more of a joke because everybody had a gimmick, and it was kind of like, okay, whatever. And so I wasn't a collector mentality when it comes to some of that stuff because I'd rather read it than keep it in the bag, the poly bags. Like, I bagged and boarded my stuff, don't get me wrong, but I didn't care about keeping it in the poly bag.
You were a reader, not a collector.
Yeah.
Can I share a little quick story time about being a collector and thinking
you can't.
Shut up, Sith. Anyway.
It's not Sith anymore. Thank you.
Oh, I'm just gonna call you Toy because you're a little bit of a fool. Anyway.
No. Will you rebrand it? See, we got the.
We successfully rebranded.
We've lost a quarter of the viewers, though.
Oh man. No, but
taking all the toys down and put like bland walls up and.
Yeah. Live, laugh, love posters.
We start giving life advice. Well, you gotta have positivity
Loves
when you
brand.
see your company.
All the people that never watched me before love it. Okay, that's what matters. What was
Forget
your?
my-
You were gonna tell a story about being a collector. What are you collecting?
Oh, so well, Shelby, as you know, so Toy, as you know, I was an avid comic book collector for many years, and had a mental breakdown 2 years ago. So I sold all of my physical copies of comic books in favor of digital copies. Crazy, I know.
Mhm.
I was actually going through some stuff, but the crazy thing is, the ones, because I buy duplicate copies every time like a special issue comes out. I'll buy a copy of the issue that I'm going to keep in the pack and one I'm going to read. I sell both copies of a lot of the comic books that, like, I had Nightwing issue 1 when Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing. I have one in the sleeve, one out of the sleeve. They sold for the same price, but they're also valued at the same price. So it's like, sometimes, like I like to say this to other collectors. Sometimes, bro, keeping it in the sleeve, yeah, it's worth something. But like most times, it's gonna be valued at the same if it's in good quality condition.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so the other Superman was felt over what was way overprinted. I would much rather it be way overprinted than underprinted. And then the people who wanted to read it because they wanted to read it can't ever get a hold of it.
What also too, what's interesting too, like you mentioned, like the fourth printing, the certain things like that where they're overprinted and made too many. The later run prints end up being more valuable than the first prints because they've made so many of the first prints. Like, most valuable book I have in my collection is the third print of Incredible Hulk 377. It's a $1,000 book because they reissued it like years after the original release that hardly anybody ordered. I ordered one because I love the Hulk. You know, had a buddy of mine had a comic book shop. It's like, hey, order this for me. And it sat in my loan boxes forever, and I just hadn't been flipping through a price guide one time. Like, what? It's just been sitting bagged in the box forever. I sent it off to be graded, just mainly just going to have it encapsulated, be protected. Because I don't like plan on sealing it, and I just got it that way just to protect it.
Yeah, exactly.
The later run prints is usually more valuable.
Mm-hmm. We also have to think about, like, are they going to be slightly higher quality prints? Or are they going to be a little bit? They're going to change things between printings. I mean, it's not.
I was like, when Superman first came out, it's on newsprint, and like the trades are on the nice glossy stock paper.
Yeah.
The trades are paper-wise are a better quality book.
I got a quick question for the panel. So, because Doomsday premieres, like, first time we see Doomsday is in the Death of Superman, do you think that his subsequent appearances in other media where we see him for the first time, like video games or like movies or cartoons, do you think that kind of cheapens Doomsday a little? Because to me, it's like, okay, you want to go right into it? Go ahead. I can ask to hear.
I think he had more impact as a one-off thing. Character like this, just such a powerful character. They could have brought him back. I think they brought him back too soon. I think they should have worked on like too. I don't like the fact that he can just resurrect himself. That's
yeah.
It'd be cool if it could have worked into some kind of dark side, use his technology or something other, and resurrected the creature like he did. Like in that one storyline where he cloned a bunch of Doomsdays. they were not as powerful as the regular Doomsday, but
So I like, obviously, the first showing when Doomsday actually shows up. I like that. After that, like, almost more of like a PTSD situation where it's like Superman's afraid he's gonna come back, or like Scarecrow toxin. I hate the Injustice universe, but one of the best things about that is when they have basically fear toxin mixed with kryptonite, and it makes Superman see Doomsday, and he is so freaked out that he kills Doomsday, but it's not Doomsday, it's his wife and unborn child. And that is the sort of psychological effect that Doomsday should have on Superman going forward. He shouldn't have come back as an actual physical being.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If they bring him back something like they've been kind of cool too, like Hank Henshaw, like when they brought him back, he put that little device on Doomsday's corpse, or what he thought was a corpse, and launched him out of space, instead of like recloning another Superman body with the technology. Have Henshaw that took over the Doomsday corpse.
Yeah. Now, as far as like retellings of the story, I don't think retellings of this version of the story cheapens it, because they're all just a little bit different, and it's not bringing back the character. It's just a reimagining of this already base storyline.
I agree with that part. It's a good, like I said, the 2018 anime Death Superman probably was the best, closest one to the comic story. They just replaced the Justice League International with the main Justice League.
Yep. I have my problems with that. Am I wrong? We never got a Superman movie until then in that universe. We got like Justice League and Justice League War and all that stuff, but we never had a standalone Superman movie to kind of flesh out that version of the character a little bit more. It's the same issue we had with, to a lesser degree, same issue we had with the Zack Snyder stuff, is that it came in, we had one chance to get to know him, and then he was killed. We had 3 or 4 movies with him in them, but none of them were Superman-centric. This is his story. And I feel like we should have gotten that a couple of times at least before we got to Death of Superman.
That's why I think I like the 2007 one, like we were talking about before, too. It felt like a continuation of the animated series.
Yes. Yeah, it felt like it could have... It came in like it was an already established universe, as opposed to like, oh, we just started this universe a few years ago, and these are like origin stories of the character, and we never really got that with Superman. I mean, we don't really need it, but like
Jake, can you do that?
He's frozen again. He's doing his mannequin challenge 2.0.
Yeah. That man trying to break his own record? Oh, man, JB, bro, chill. You already got the record. You don't need to win.
But,
yeah.
Hey, I agree. If they're going to do another Doomsday storyline, you need to establish Superman in the universe first. Have his own standalone, make you feel for the character. That's with the the James Gunn Superman movie. I wish it was more about Superman and his relationship with Lois and the Daily Planet, where we got to know those characters more. This feels like this should have been the second movie.
Yeah.
I would like to you don't need to tell the origin again. Just let him showing up in Metropolis, dealing with stuff in Metropolis, establishing, getting the
I feel like, personally, I feel like if they're gonna do a Doomsday to Death of Superman storyline, they need to kind of do it like the comics. They need to build up to it. It needs to be like 2 Superman movies, a Green Lantern movie, and a Wonder Woman movie, and have like two Batman movies happening in the background at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like Batman's just back here investigating, fighting gangs and stuff that are like coming out of the rubble of cities that Doomsday runs through, and he's just like eating his way behind Doomsday. Like, I know it's gonna be crazy. He left Gotham, whoa, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and like build the world that we are currently going to be sitting in and are going to feel bad for when Superman eventually dies at the end of these series of movies. Like, make a world that I'm going to feel sad that they lost their hero. Like, I never feel sad nowadays when they lose their hero because it's like, oh, bro, somebody's going to turn around and replace them.
You gotta make you feel that you have a connection to the character.
Yeah.
The interpersonal, personal relationships with the different characters, how they impact those characters. You got to make you feel for the person. It's second movie with Superman and Snyderverse. Let's kill them off.
And it was very disheartening because it's such a fantastic cast. I loved Henry Cavill as Superman, obviously. Gal Gadot was fine, just perfect for Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And Ben Affleck should have been the Batman that we all deserved.
Yeah.
And they could have been. They just needed to pace it better.
Ben Affleck, Batman v Superman, as flawed as it is, had some good stuff in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Him going to fight the thugs that had Superman's mom, that was just perfect. Seeing how it seems like Superman could have done that very easily since he can move so fast.
Yeah.
Super strength and basically like.
And you know what? I know the dude that plays.
Doesn't have a qualms about killing, so he just went kill all the people holding his mom.
No, I'll say Ben Affleck had the most aura of any Batman history. He was the most aura farming Batman.
But he felt the most physically imposing too.
Right. And I think
Batman
that's the aura.
A lot of small guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh yeah. No. Like I can't even think of a guy that's as tall and jacked as Ben Affleck that's played Batman in the past.
Well, he was Ben Affleck, what, 6'4"?
Yeah, Ben Affleck a big guy. Well, a tall guy. He used to be a skinny guy, but man, he got jacked to play Batman, bro. Like, did you see the side-by-side transformation from, 2 years before he played Batman up to Batman? Bro got jacked.
I agree with Darth on this, too. It's like, I wish... Well, I understand, too, why she did get more toned, but she didn't get jacked. But probably when she shot Wonder Woman 1, she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I guess, would probably limit how much she could do.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I feel like
that was my biggest complaint about her as Wonder Woman. When you watch the Wonder Woman movie, every other actress in that movie was jacked like crazy. They worked out and got huge. She did not. She got toned, but she didn't get huge.
I feel like, and they were also still voluptuous. Like they were jacked and voluptuous. And I feel like that's what Amazonians are supposed to be. That's how they're described in Greek mythology. They're like the most voluptuous and beautiful women, warrior women in the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, Gal Gadot, but she was pregnant, like you said. But like, by the time we got the Justice League movie, she could have thickened up a little, had a couple of sandwiches, you know.
Well, she did put on a lot of muscle though. What's deceiving is because you look at her like in Fast and Furious movies, she went quick.
True.
She did put on a lot of muscle. Because her frame, it takes a lot too. But she's also tall.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that ratio of like toned and tall in women too. Like I've actually noticed that as I scroll through social media and see like these gym women, like either they're thick and short or they're tall and skinny. Like there's no in between most times.
Yeah, that is. signed up for an action movie and you're pregnant, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I agree. What could have been, what should have been, they had all the right pieces, and I don't. So Zack Snyder does a better job of adapting already existing stuff than he does his own. Like when he's given free reign, it's usually not as well put together. He doesn't need to be writing stories. He doesn't need to be writing. He's a good director. He's a good visual director.
Right.
He just needs to surround himself with good screenplay writers and like storyboard people, and then just let him make the movie beautiful, and basically that's it.
Let him get the angles down. Let him get the, and you know what? I'll even say his editing is pretty good. I mean, like when you have the visuals of people's reactions to what people are saying instead of having the camera on people saying the thing, I feel like that is some great visual storytelling because it's like okay, we know we can hear what this dude is saying, but like, what are these people thinking about what dude is saying? You know what I'm saying?
It's like when Snyder did like 300. They adapted Frank Miller's comic, and it was just visually beautiful. Like it's perfect.
Yep, and his version of Watchmen is to this day still probably the single greatest live action adaptation we've ever had.
Problem what happened after Watchmen? They want to make everything Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Watchmen is dark and gritty for a reason. That's the story. Don't make your main DC universe dark and gritty. It's not the same universe. They don't exist in the same world.
Okay, can I complain a little bit about how they did that? And after the movie and the graphic novel, they folded the Watchmen universe into the DC main universe. Like, can I say how much I hate that? Like, okay, don't get me wrong. I love Flashpoint. Flashpoint is my favorite series of comic books ever. Thomas Wayne Batman? Brother, I will choose Thomas Wayne Batman for a movie any day. Ben Affleck needs to play Thomas Wayne Batman tomorrow in a one-off whatever.
We had a perfect Thomas Wayne playing Thomas Wayne that should have played Thomas Wayne in the Flashpoint movie. It's almost like the actor was already lined up to play the role.
But nostalgia is a pretty strong thing that a lot of Hollywood likes to rely on these days. So, if you want to make money, who do you bring back? You bring back Michael Keaton, who people wanted to see Batman again. Because they knew with all the legal troubles, and everything Ezra Miller got into, they knew he wasn't going to be able to sell a movie on his own. So they had to bring back somebody who fans wanted to play a big part in the movie to sell it.
Yeah. Michael Keaton was okay. I didn't have any problems with his portrayal. It was kind of weird at the beginning when he looked like he was out of The Big Lebowski, but Sasha Calle as Supergirl was never, to me, as like everyone talked big about how much she played Supergirl and how good she was, and I just never really got that. She didn't really look like the character. She didn't really act like Supergirl. I think I don't know.
Zor-El either.
No, she didn't act like Supergirl. She didn't really. She took Superman's role as in the Flashpoint universe, which I don't really appreciate. But
even if they were going to run that storyline where in the Flashpoint universe Superman is locked up and Supergirl is like the replacement Superman, you gotta do it like Flashpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make it to where she's like a weaker Superman because she grew up on Krypton. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of her life. Like, you gotta do the whole thing.
Yeah. Man, that on the left, that is Is that available as like the full movie? I
I
gotta.
wish it was because the colors make it so much better.
Yeah, the colors do make it so much better. Like,
I don't know
Superman
why
is
we saturated the colors so much in Man of Steel.
Yeah, that is a big complaint I have with that movie. Yes, Darth. If they would have just adapted the storyline that everyone has been literally asking for years for them to adapt, it would have worked a whole lot better than this weird bastardized.
Which they did the animated movie and stayed very true
Yeah,
to.
and it was great. People like it. It's the same. Not to beat a dead horse with a mallet, but
Hey,
Star Wars with Dave Filoni's stuff, it's the exact same situation where they're like, oh, we have these stories that everyone really likes, but what if we just kind of take bits and pieces from them and add them over here? And oh, it's the story. It's the same story. No. It's like two of the same points of the original story and completely misses the entire original, feeling of the story.
I would so buy color corrected Man of Steel.
I would too. And again,
I'd
I
buy-
love Man of Steel. It's a very fun movie. It's a very cinematic movie.
Yeah.
I've started recently kind of changing my opinions on it as a Superman movie, but there's way more about that movie that I like than I don't like.
So I think DC did better with their animated movies when they were sticking more true to the comics.
So I liked the 2011 to 2017 like Justice League War and all that stuff. But I really liked the earlier stuff when they were like, okay, we're going to take this one story, we're going to make that one story into a movie. It doesn't have to interact with anything else. This is the story. It may not be exactly 100% accurate to the comics. It may be quite different in the case of like Doomsday and Batman Under the Red Hood. But it's a complete story. It's self-contained. We don't have to reference anything. We're not setting anything else up. Here's your story. Beginning, middle, end, done.
Can I argue with their Krypton story on the Under the Red Hood? It was different for the most part, but it hit all the exact same story beats. It kept the main lesson and the story and the like if you put the comic book side by side, the main story points of Dick Grayson figuring out that the Red Hood was Jason Todd by how he moved. Jason forcing Batman to choose between him and the Joker, or him killing the Joker, or Bruce stopping Jason.
Yeah,
And
it keeps
all
a lot of the same themes, but it changes up the formula basically to get to that thing.
I will say that the animated movie, is so much better because in the comic, you got to remember the ending. Batman definitively chooses saving Joker's life over Jason. When he throws the Batarang, it lands in Jason's neck or shoulder. Like some people argue shoulder, but either way, your main carotid artery goes from your neck to your shoulder. Either way, Jason is toast. Like, I know he survives in the comics, but in reality, he's toast. In the cartoon, he throws the Batarang into the barrel of the gun, thereby saying, hey, I'm not choosing Joker over you. I'm choosing my oath as Batman to not cause harm. And because this is all a direct result of my inaction to stop Joker from killing you the first time, I'm the one causing the harm, so I'm going to stop the thing that can harm everybody here. Like, I feel like animated is much better just because of that lesson alone. Like, clean up your messes, and you won't have to do it again later.
Darth, these are bi-weekly. Like next week we'll be doing on Matt's channel on the Geek Chat.
Yeah.
And on the off Saturdays we do the comics review. Alternate. We're going to alternate. Matt's got to
We
work.
just need to have Darth on one of the shows. You know that? We just need to have him on one of our shows.
Darth.
Come
you
on,
are
Darth.
always more than welcome.
Yeah, he needs to come on.
Yes, so I'm not disagreeing with it at all, Justin. Bongsley. That Under the Red Hood is probably the single best film, movie, TV show, anything for DC. Period. By bar none.
It might be the greatest thing Warner Bros. Has ever produced. And I'm including their shows. Any movie,
I am.
animated or DC. I'm talking anything Warner Brothers has done, like their whole catalog, it doesn't stand up to Under the Red Hood.
As someone who thinks Batman is way overrated and not that great, I am in agreement. It's probably the best DC movie, animated or not, that's ever been put to production. That's part of what I'm saying. Is these stories, these early movies, that one, Superman Doomsday, Green Lantern First Flight, Wonder Woman. We had like the alternate ones where we had like Justice League New Frontier, Superman Red Sun, and like these alternate tellings where it was very much its own. It wasn't worried about how does this interact with that, how does this go in.
Yep.
Oh, we got to set up the cameo for that. Oh, we have to reference this over here. If we got a reference to another character, it was just a bonus.
I think that's going to be a mistake with James Gunn's universe. He's going to make everything tie in, even the cartoons. And that's what's killed the MCU, all the tie-in stuff.
Yes.
I haven't been here.
You're lost in the movies now. You've got stuff referencing the Disney Plus stuff, which nobody's watching.
Right, and I have been hearing rumors that James Gunn has been going around saying everything else doesn't matter. This new movie universe is all that's canon, and I'm like, whoa, hold on.
But yeah, that's what he did. Everything's been canceled. Games, movies, TV shows.
And I hate the fact they made a point too. It's kind of insulting to the old fans with that last Crisis on Infinite Earths. They made sure they deleted all the old universes. All the cartoon universes and stuff we used to watch are gone.
Yeah.
They destroyed those universes.
I've said it before, and yeah, I've said it before. I have zero issue with having a nice, big, expanded, comprehensive universe, but don't make that the only basket to put your eggs in.
Yep. Don't make people do homework to go watch your movie.
If someone wants to go do the homework to watch your expanded universe,
don't make that the key to making the story make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The homework should expand on what is already making sense in the storyline.
It's the same thing I said from day one when they did the MCU stuff. Why are they not doing MCU comic books when the MCU started? We could have like tie-ins. You don't need them to go watch the movies, but it'd been nice. They could have worked with the movie people and like did like these like little side stories. And expanded like the knowledge of the characters.
That's what I loved about the Fantastic Four. You know how much homework I had to do to watch that movie? Zero. It made perfect sense, beginning to end, and it was all in its own thing.
Because you know what? Reading a comic book takes what? 15 minutes? Top? So an hour and a half should encompass at least 10 issues, my guy.
I do have to retract my previous statement. Mask of the Phantasm is the single greatest anything DC.
Ooh.
Under the Red Hood is a close second, but Mask of the Phantasm is by far number one.
You know what, Mask of the Phantasm. I forgot about Mask of the Phantasm, and that is my fault. I apologize for the nerd god.
And you made me forget about Mask of the Phantasm, so we can't be friends anymore.
Damn it! How am I going to play D&D next month?
Yeah, I was thinking with Death of Superman, myself and Kevin, I think we're the only ones around when it actually first came out.
I was born in '91, so I wouldn't have been aware even if I
You,
was.
you were one.
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking yet.
And Krypton was Toy Vault.
I was -4. I was born in '96, so. JB?
Kevin was getting into the industry.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, JB was really doing the mannequin challenge that time. We thought he was frozen.
And Darth, this is why you invite to the join us has been rescinded over that statement.
I was 15 when it
Oh,
started.
I did not see the statement. What was the statement?
I was a fetus, so
Were you?
Not even.
No.
Maybe
Oh.
a
Well,
twinkle.
97.
You couldn't have been a fetus then.
Maybe a twinkle in your dad's
Yeah.
eye.
So I was 15. So Sif was -4. Bongsley was 1.
Yep,
JB, what were you? -6?
I was 97. I was born 97, so you're a year older than I am. So
You're the same
-5.
age as my brother.
yeah, which I did have Mask of the Phantasm on VHS. I wish I could find that copy, but I do have it somewhere on VHS though.
I have it in 4K
yeah.
UHD. So
What company were you working for back when this came out?
What was that?
What company were you working with when Death Superman happened?
That would have been when I was just breaking in. So I still would have been with a couple of these smaller indie companies.
Mhm.
So I didn't get my first DC work until Showcase '94, number 12. So that was in '94.
Oh, I think I
Um,
did.
Yeah, and it was shortly after Zero Hour, I think it was, because I was doing that character Triumph.
Oh, I remember Triumph.
Yeah.
That book too.
Um,
I like his design. He didn't last long, but
yeah.
he came in as a hero and he left as a villain.
Yeah, exactly. They had that whole thing of where nobody remembered him, and he was this great hero, and nobody remembered him, and then they made him a villain, and yeah. Oh man, yeah. I was just doing some indie stuff.
Do you remember the indie book you were working on at the time, or?
Yeah. There was a couple. There was a company or a small indie publisher out of Roanoke at the time,
Oh wow!
and let me see. I'm trying to remember the name of the company. It was they were tied into partially to the dude who was publishing Razor. Like they were working together, but I didn't have anything to do with that. And Mike Wieringo, who later went on to do Flash, was doing some covers and stuff for them at the time. It was called let me see, Midnight Scream Production, or anyway, they had a book called Toxic Tommy, which was like, they basically think of a kind of a Beavis with a crossed with an axe murderer. I mean, he looked like kind of like Beavis a little bit, and
I heard he grew up to be the governor of California.
yeah, exactly. There you go. And yeah, I was doing that. It was that was my first published thing, and then the next thing was my own creative character that I was working on with a friend of mine, and then they published what was it? The publisher for the guy that was doing Razor and was publishing his own books published our comic for that, and this was while I was still in high school, so Gosh, man. So I just had a small run of independent stuff until I broke in with DC. So it took a couple of years until I was able to break in with DC and get that first gig. But it's one of those things. I had been reading comics for so long, and so cause some of my first things that I had picked up was like in my memory, my grandmother get me the issue of Captain America with Deathlock pointing the gun, and it's got Captain America in the sights. That was one of my first ones. The Fantastic Four, that issue where they're in the negative zone, and Reed Richards has this big round dome thing on his head that was helping him think, and it was a crazy issue. It was a pretty crazy issue. So I had been collecting for a while, and I'd seen sort of things come and go with trends and characters dying and stuff, and that's why I kind of knew. I was like, hey, even as a fan and whatnot, I was like, they're not going to kill Superman off, and or not for long anyway. And I kind of just all saw it kind of as a gimmick, but then reading it was fun. Reading it was and enjoying what they were doing with Doomsday, because he's basically, in terms of a graphic design or a visual or coming up with a character, but Superman was being, for me as a kid, I was like, oh, Superman's getting his butt kicked by the cross between the Hulk and Wolverine, and it was just, it's a fanboy thing, and I was just having fun with it, and it was just really cool. They everything they did, they really liked the build up. I really liked that they treated it every issue. They were changing the amount of panels per page. It was getting bigger. It was splashier. It was cool. You knew there was some dread. There were characters getting their butts kicked, and potentially getting killed by Doomsday. You always wondered if somebody was going to bite it because he was just too powerful and too vicious.
He was killing civilians left and right because he was snapping their necks, crushing their heads.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was fun. It was fun, and I enjoyed it. I was hoping that one day that I would get a chance to draw him, and eventually I did. I actually got a chance to draw him in one of my issues of Adventure Comics. But it was in 2000 and when was I doing Adventure Comics? It was like 2008, 2009, maybe 2010. But one of the issues had Superboy, and he's going through. Adventure Comics is basically Legion of Superheroes, for those who don't know. They had changed the branding on Legion of Superheroes back to Adventure Comics for a short time.
Yeah.
And there's one episode where Superboy's kind of doubting himself, and he's walking through a museum to Superman, and then you get to the chamber room that's dedicated to like the death of Superman. And so I had banners on the wall resembling the polybag. I drew the banners on the wall to decorate the death of Superman room. I replicated the polybag, the bloody or torn Superman symbol. And then he's standing or being loomed over by a big Doomsday statue. And I was like, yeah, I finally made it big time. I got to draw Doomsday and Superboy in the same comic, So that was really fun. That was a favorite of mine. So that was one of those times where I kind of come full circle from a story I really liked. That was because I wasn't a huge, other than John Byrne's run on Superman and the Legends miniseries, I wasn't a huge DC collector. I had a few Who's Who so I could keep up on certain characters. Like it was just like the Marvel universes. I would collect the Who's Who's to just delve into the world of DC, and I was always coming back to Marvel. I just wasn't enjoying DC the way I did with Marvel. And then got Superman came along, with some of that stuff was really fun. But basically, Legends, the miniseries Legends, and John Byrne's revamp of Superman, and I'm trying to think of some of the other things. And then later, a few years later, right before I was breaking in, I was collecting Mike Wieringo's Flash run, and I collected a couple of issues of Flash before then. Like, I enjoyed Wally, and when Mike Wieringo started drawing the book, I was fully on board with that. And then I started to transition and started to collect more DC a little bit.
Cool. I got some of your artwork sharing on the screen right now.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, I just being able to draw that issue of there were two things I wanted to accomplish with Legion. When I did Legion of Superheroes, I did 9 total issues. One of the things I would love to do, but I think Paul Levitz was not writing him in there. He didn't write him into his issues until after, like, the issue or two after I was gone, which made me really mad. But what I wanted to do, Timberwolf, and I wanted to be able to draw something with Superboy, and the byproduct of having, Doomsday in that issue, the Death of Superman exhibit that he was walking through, was really cool. And I think I had a couple issues that I did that were Mark Waid had written them previously, and I think I did draw Timberwolf in kind of a new style. This was one. Trying to think of the art teams. Barry Kitson was drawing Legion of Superheroes, and they had this kind of all black stylized Timberwolf costume, and I was a fan of the Dave Cockrum or some of those designs and stuff. So I was like, man, I'm never going to get a chance to draw Timberwolf proper. But yeah, they were fun. I had a lot of fun on Legion of Superheroes. It was a shame. It was a shame to get a chance to draw more issues, but that came down to Paul Levitz wanting some other artists on the book and all this other stuff, office politics type stuff.
You found it.
Yeah,
there's one.
On the very low resolution.
Yeah, that was the cover. I think the covers at the time, they had Scott Clark or somebody doing the covers, but yeah, that cover is basically encapsulate what was going on in the issue, and that gives you a good idea of what I was drawing.
There you go.
Yeah, that's much better. Very cool.
So yeah, we had a lot. I had a lot of fun. It was cool that I got a chance to be a part of Death of Superman, even in a little small way years later. If I could find, what I'll do is I'll try to track it down and the original art. I've got some of the files on an older Mac, but the Mac has really got some issues, so I can't pull those files directly from that Mac anymore.
What? The Macintosh having issues?
Actually, the Mac Minis were really fun and used to work fine for me, but I got one. The last time I bought one, it was doing some crazy BS. It was very slow, which is something they normally aren't. or at least not for me anyway. They had been pretty reliable for the things I needed it for.
Yeah.
As someone who worked IT support tier 2 for Apple, what? Apple having issues unheard of.
Yes.
So with back on the death of Superman, like what is everybody's kind of final thoughts like on the whole story as a whole, not including, just leave out like the funeral for a friend, return in the rain and all that stuff. Just death Superman.
10 out of 10.
It was
Superman is my number one property. My earliest memories are Superman the Animated Series and Justice League and these sort of things. So are already naturally gravitate towards these storylines, but this one has good storytelling and fantastic art. Jackson Guise, the art that he did was by far my favorite in the run.
I agree. The Death Superman, it's kind of those things that really got me into comics. It kind of like sold me on the media, and it's a great storytelling with this story, plus beautiful artwork, and I like the fact too, it sets it in the stakes, because you don't have just superheroes dicking it out. You have civilians in their everyday life and getting affected by what's going on.
Yeah, and I can't say I enjoy it, but I appreciate Doomsday being a villain and, crushing the bird, snapping the neck of the deer. Like, he's doing things that make you not want to like him as a villain, because he's a villain, because he does not care. That is his entire point.
Monster, a mindless monster. Is one thing. Like when I can't remember, the telepath from Cadmus tries to go into his mind. It's just nothing but rage and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no mind there. It's just
what's his name? Who was the woman who was trying to read minds? She was the one that read his mind first and said basically the same thing. There's nothing to read.
It is only battle.
It is. He only cares about destruction. It's like,
well, you fellas already know what I'm gonna say. 10 out of 10 for the B-Man. I mean, obviously, like I said, I had watched a lot of superhero media before I ever read comics. But this is the first comic book I ever read, like solid print comic book I ever read. The first comic book my dad ever gave me. And again, like I said in the last episode, this time period is when the art style of comics was really changing from like the 70s and 60s style of like dotting in the art versus them using digital and hand-drawn techniques to make smoother, more realistic art. So like this time period of comic book art is just, I'm biased, I can't help it. So, I think 10 out of 10 would read again and again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
It delivered a raw, devastating battle between Superman, but it also, at the core, around the world, but Superman matters. His death symbolized sacrifice, hope, and the ideal that even the strongest among us are not invincible. It was heartbreaking for longtime fans, for newcomers. It was shocking. It really put a whole change on the comic book industry for a while, for the whole the shocking value of I think his story had more impact than any of them. It was kind of the first turning point of that. It started a whole genre of the whole, we were talking about before, putting the heroes through either killing them or breaking them and replacing them. They eventually come back of redeeming arc, but It started out an entire craze of like comic book speculators, which was great for a while in the 90s, which you had like the giant boom, people like buying comics left and right. Problem is, though, that bubble burst, and it hit the industry hard.
But I think a lot of it was the fact that people that were buying it were not buying it because it was a comic book. They were not.
They thought they were buying an investment.
Yeah.
They thought they were getting Action Comics #1.
Yeah. And they kept giving them.
You gotta think
Every-
about
every-
it too. Like, it wasn't an isolated incident here in America either. Like manga sales in Japan around the same time, that bubble burst, and like Chinese manhwas, that bubble burst. So it's like comic media around the world kind of just faltered at the time.
And without a doubt, it's what endures is one of the most famous stories in comic book history to this day.
Yeah.
Kind of puts Superman in a modern legend about him because he's evil, because he's willing to give everything to protect others. Part of one of the most iconic things you'll see too is like the Last Forever. You see like his iconic torn up cape flying like a flag, and he lost the greatest hero. Heroes may fall, but ideals may live on.
Doomsday is an iconic villain. He kind of set the stage for power clipping in the DC universe.
Yep. Oh, and aka like Transformers 75, those later issues are hard to come by now. 10 out of 10. Are you playing a mute tonight, JP?
No, you guys are going on. I'm trying not to interrupt y'all's conversation. So I was just putting my grade up there for the comic.
You're trying to wrap us up. You're trying to tell us to shut up. All right.
No. I was just
I
putting
see
up
it.
my answer like quiet. So I was just putting up my grade for it.
But I love those later runs, like when Simon Furman's run on Transformers. Those were great.
Oh yeah.
But with all in all, it's 10 out of 10 for me too.
We should keep this trend up where we read good comic books that are good, both art and story. We're two for two so far, but
You don't want to share your favorite Thor picture no more?
oh, I will absolutely share my favorite Thor picture. Always. No.
Listen,
I get
He's the co-host. He's got to start showing pictures now.
What's his favorite picture?
It is. It is my single.
I still enjoyed the Blood and Thunder story. That the art varied widely.
It did. And the art in this varied widely, but it never was like, oh, that's terrible. It was always, I dig that.
Yeah, absolutely. The Man of Steel is probably the most different of the art styles. Most of them like matched up pretty well. Man of Steel is like the artist, like I forget the name of the artist, but his style is very distinct. It's more blocky, almost like Ed McGuinness like.
Yeah.
Which I love it. Like it worked great for like with yeah. Kevin, you remember Blood and Thunder?
oh my god.
Say what?
You remember Blood and Thunder, the crossover fit for Thor in the 90s?
No, I don't actually.
Oh.
This was from like a Chronicles of War.
On his right foot, and
I don't know if you can see the screen. Like this was.
This is my single favorite panel from any comic book I've ever seen in my life.
You know who the artist is for that?
concept shaped like that, bro. Like,
This
no,
was
I gotta
small.
cook this man.
This wasn't a small sale either. This is like a big splash piece.
It was. And it's
Why his neck and shoulder so much bigger than his head? His helmet looks so tiny. And what is going on with the cape? I gotta roast this man real quick. I'm
Do
sorry.
you know who the artist is?
I have to look it up. Let me see.
If I have my notes still saved.
This looks like it was drawn by modern AI.
No, this was a classic artist.
I know.
I like his backgrounds were beautiful, but his
The
character
background
was not the greatest.
the sword looks like he looks like an art character. Like
I believe it was Infinity Watch.
Oh yeah, Infinity Watch.
this looks like someone tried to draw Thor.
It's not Tom Grindberg, is it?
It is, I believe so.
Okay.
He said that like explains a lot.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan. His a lot of his figures are like, if that is indeed him, the inks
Yes.
look different. The inks look a little different for him, but he was always. A lot of his figures are always kind of bloopy and not a lot of form, a lot of structure.
Yeah,
It's very
his thighs are bigger than his torso.
Yeah. This is a caricature. A reverse caricature. The body is way bigger than the head.
yeah.
It looks like
He did some issues of Silver Surfer or something, I remember, and I just did not like his work at all.
we were trying to be nice.
I'm not a nice feller. I'm sorry.
I don't mind his background stuff, but his characters. He could do some great Kirby Caracal, but
Well-
No, oh my god, I can't get over that right foot, man.
he makes Liefield's feet look good.
It does.
The way his foot shaped's like a hot dog.
Well, the proportions that look like his foot's were like
Come on, it looks like a hot dog.
it's like his foot's like 30 feet away from his thigh.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the perspective shot and the shadowing underneath him, like it looks like a Venom symbiote is about to
Take
to
over
happen.
him, yeah.
Yeah, let's just say there's some technical things I could go off on, but I'm choosing not to because I'm trying to be nice.
That's what we were doing when we did the Thor Blood and Thunder review. We were like, the backgrounds are nice.
But see, I'm Southern, but my mama was one of them people that never said if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. She said, say what you feel, baby.
Yeah, you put this into AI and it would just break AI.
Well, it's one of those things where it's kind of hard for me to even say anything because I am looking at it through an artist's eye, and the certain things stand out at me already, and then also as a fan, I've seen his work. I never saw that, but I saw his work, and I think it was Silver Surfer, and
Surfer
guys-
was in this book.
you should hunt that down and then compare it to that and see if he's better or worse than Silver Surfer.
Surfer was in this book, and he looked awful too.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry. Surfer's in this picture. He's on the ground.
He is.
Well,
So why?
I just happened to look down. It's like, oh, that's Surfer.
I was wondering what was up with the shiny details on the ground. I was like, is that like sticky grass or?
That's another kneecap.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say one thing too about this. After reading the story, though, it did make me appreciate the Marvel Legends Psylocke Thanos 2-pack more.
yeah.
Originally, I was like ready to pass on it. It's like I want the Psylocke, but I didn't care about the Thanos. But
Yeah.
it is very much a '90s Thanos.
Yeah.
Even if the people are like saying, "Oh, the horns are Capcom," no, he had long horns in the '90s too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It just depended. Yeah, it kind of depended on who the artists were, but yeah, because I agree with that. I pretty much agree with that. And well, and that's the thing. He also there's that little twinkle in his eye, and the way he is in the figure, the way they did the face. That's very much Capcom. I really enjoy that. I actually appreciate that as a gaming figure. You know.
Yeah.
To be fair, here's some better Tom
Yeah.
Goldberg art.
Mhm.
That looks a lot better. I gotta be fair. I can't only clown.
Oh yeah.
But it also kind of looks like a storyboard for Super Jail. Like if it was animated, his outline would be constantly moving.
So I get that reference.
I'm sorry. I will start saying nice things.
Here's another 90s Thanos picture. Like see, you got the long horns. So,
Yes, AK,
Yeah,
I agree.
and he wasn't a giant in the 90s, too, like he is now. That's one thing that's disappointing with the size of when they made the original Thanos figures. Like, why's he small? But he was basically just bulky with the height of Silver Surfer. Of course, they don't get Silver Surfer height right in the toys either. I hate that the Silver Surfer figure is on the Sunfire mold. Sunfire mold is like a 5'9", 6 foot character. What that body should be based on, 5'10", something like that. And Surfer is like 6'4". She should be on the Vulcan body.
That's another thing I did like about Doomsday and this Death of Superman. I liked his size a lot better. He works a whole lot better in this larger scale, but not Hulk size. He doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
He should be a head height taller than Superman, not 3 feet taller than Superman.
At that time period, the Hulk was grown so big. The Hulk's arm was the size of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hulk.
How does the select Doomsday scale with DCUC Superman, Jared?
The what now?
The DC Select Doomsday, how well does it scale with the DCUC Superman?
DC Direct?
What is DC Select?
I meant S3, like Select S3 is what I meant to say. DC
No, it's
S3 Doomsday.
Tiny.
Tiny?
If you had watched Matt's video, you would know that.
I'm trying to find a Doomsday to get. Like
Shot fired.
JB. Just wait. Mattel's getting the license back.
I know.
They won't make a Doomsday.
There's not a great option. The one that Matt sent you is probably the best option.
Size-wise, the one Matt sent you is the best. The only thing I don't like about that one is the goat horns.
I don't like. That's the only thing I don't like about it either. That's why I'm like, I want a classic Doomsday on my shelf.
If it had a different head sculpt, it'd be the best one available. But size-wise, it's perfect.
Unless you want to spend $250, and then you can get the
And
DC Icons.
oh, and JP, we were talking about earlier tonight. Mafex is making a Doomsday.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that 2-pack. I'm just one to go with my classic Superman. I was trying to find one.
Even the DC Icons Doomsday is perfect, even for 6.5-inch scale.
The SDC DC Signature Series Doomsday is probably one of the best looking Doomsdays. What you want, but he's huge.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at right now. $170 right now is what the lowest I'm seeing for him.
Don't get FOMO. Mattel's gonna make one.
I know.
And it'll either be 6.5 or 7-inch scale.
I'm not. I'm just. We were talking about Doomsday, so I'm just looking at different prices and seeing all that.
FOMO.
And
But
while
I would I think the good right now. Let's vote on our next thing.
Yes.
Any suggestions? Look, Sith and I have done the last couple picks.
I have another pick, so
Um,
if no one else does.
Kevin, if you want to join us next, you got a suggestion of anything to read next time?
I'm gonna keep suggesting it until we do it. Outlaws.
That's a long read, though. It'd be nice if we could do something like a arc,
Yeah.
a trade or arc. Which is Outlaws was great, I agree, but be kind of hard to do in the format.
True. And it's such a continuous story that it's hard to pin down a select arc that kind of encompasses the penultimate story.
Kevin, you got any suggestions? Anything good to read?
How old can we go back on?
Any age, like any kind of story arc.
All right, go with Mutant Massacre.
Mutant Massacre.
Ooh. Ooh.
Chris Claremont. Mutant Massacre.
And see, I'm
It
not
was
a big
across Uncanny X-Men, and then it was let me see, Power Pack and
Uncanny 210, 211, 46, 212, 213, X Factor 910, Thor 373, Power Pack. Is that it? Is that the wrong one?
yeah, Power Pack definitely. I'm pretty sure it had something to do with that, because there was a.
I put one in the private chat.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that one. That sounds like
There's some interesting stuff that happens in there. So.
I've never read that, so I like to do that. So far, we've done everything. I've already read all these stories. I like to seduce it, and I've experienced a new story.
That's not true. I got you week before last.
Oh, I'm sorry. You are correct.
Yeah.
I did read I think I just got blocked out because it's so bad.
Well, I'm gonna have to read all of these except for New Mutants number 46.
A couple weeks ago, Kevin, we did the Star Wars based on his original draft of George Lucas' original draft of Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
And
It was fun.
The story is terrible. The art was beautiful.
Yeah.
Awful.
I've been hearing that. Some friends of mine have been debating stuff like that. Actually, just as recently as tonight, in our private chats, some friends of mine are razzing each other over it. One's a big Lucas fan, and several others aren't specifically a Lucas fan, and we're saying the same thing you guys are saying, that the original draft was terrible.
It's R2 talked, and droids were bad guys originally, but they turned good immediately as soon as they met
Oh wow!
characters.
The best thing George Lucas ever did was surround him with people that told him no.
Yeah.
R2 was evil and a coward.
Yes. He wanted to run away.
Yeah. And he spoke normally.
Hey, second suggestion
Craven.
though, the first 5 issues of Absolute Batman.
You gotta use words, JB. We can't see
Y'all
your
are
blood.
talking. So I was like either Craven's
Yeah,
Last Time or the other option was Batman the Killing Joke. That was the 2 options I had.
Ooh, I like Craven's Last Hunt. That was a great.
That was the
fight.
2 options I had in mind to discuss about.
Let's do this X-Men one, and then we'll do Spider-Man next, because we haven't done a Spider-Man yet.
And we haven't done an X-Men too. I'm not real familiar with X-Men, so it'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a
I've
good
never
story.
read
This is a good story. It really is. Like there's the pieces and what it did to X-Men and the mutants for a while, it was a pretty rad story. A lot of repercussions that carried over. Like, it was the first time as a kid.
Wow.
Oh.
As a kid.
Uh-oh.
I'll be right back, guys.
But JB, I will absolutely throw my hat in for the Kraven's Last Hunt for next one after the X-Men.
Yeah,
you
'cause
got
I
my
was-
vote.
You were talking about stories. I'm trying to think what stories have we not talked about? What are my favorite? I always like Batman: The Killing Joke or Kraven's Last Hunt, and Superman and the Death of Superman. Those are my 3 favorite stories.
What were you saying, Bongley?
No, I also vote for Kraven's Last Hunt. Or the first 5 issues of Absolute Batman. That
Absolute Batman is a gimmick.
yeah, it is, but I don't care. It's a good one. It's a great one.
I'm not a fan. At least I'm not a fan of what I've seen. I can't judge the story. Hey, name withheld. Welcome to the end of the chat.
I
Hey,
like
Sid,
the fact
can you put in our chat the not here, but our private chat the link to read this comic so I can get to reading on that when we get done.
I could probably do that.
Okay, because I gotta
I'm gonna
let me do this. I gotta get some reading done for sure.
I got to read everything but New Mutants number 45. That's the only one I've read.
Yeah. No, Darren, I was trying to get my Revenge of the Sith Star Wars collection together because they revealed Anakin and Obi-Wan for Revenge of the Sith single card figures today, so I'm trying to get that display together.
A real fan would never have put away the Star Wars figures, even if Star Wars is awful. No one. It's part of why I did the rebrand. No one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans.
Later on, another one we could actually I just thought of 2. They can give me an idea if you got Judge Dredd versus Aliens, the Batman versus Predator, and RoboCop versus Terminator.
Yeah.
Both great ones. Beautiful art, good stories.
How long are those two? The Batman vs Predator isn't very long, is it?
No, I don't think so. And the RoboCop vs Terminator was 4 books.
So we could do like a double feature of like 4 books, because that's not going to give us enough to talk about.
Yeah.
For an entire hour or so.
Well, we could do like a first part be like Batman v Predator, then RoboCop vs Terminator.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Ooh, and then you know what we do? At the end, we do a versus of the verses. Which one was the better? Crossover.
Yeah, then we do like the Dread Aliens. AK said that's 4 issues. Or we do.
That's a triple feature right there. That's because most of these have been about 12 or so issues. So
if we wait, we do Dread versus Aliens and Superman versus Aliens.
Yeah.
That's a single one.
Okay.
That would be a better comparison.
Aliens versus 2 different. Well, of course, you got Predator versus Aliens too, but I think it's a lot longer. There's multiple.
Yeah, Predator. Yeah. I'm about to say Predators versus Aliens has like several different stories with several issues of their own. So.
Okay, so if we're gonna do a double like that, we should do the Batman versus Predator and the Superman versus Alien in 1 week.
That we can do that.
And then we could do the Dread versus Alien and RoboCop versus Terminator after that.
That sounds like a good idea to me.
All right, tournament bracket for this. Gonna go crazy. We put the winners of who's better up against each other in the following episode.
So
Well, Superman wins, so.
You're biased. Shut up.
I am biased. Thank you for noticing.
Kevin, we lost him, but I don't know if he got the message.
Automatically, Krypton's vote does not matter.
I'm actually looking forward to the Mutant Massacre because I never read that story.
Yeah, me too. I like that we're jumping from thing to thing. Like,
Yeah.
I really want to do like Reign of Superman or like Funeral for a Friend and Reign of Superman, but I like breaking it up. I don't want to do it like right after.
But if we do, Funeral for a Friend and the Reign of the Superman and all that, so we just kind of change it up a little bit. Variety is the spice of life.
Variety.
Well, Akujin, you got to come in when we do the versus bracket to see if Judge Dredd versus Aliens Incubus is truly the best Aliens versus. Because this is going to be the definitive ranking.
And
Like, our word is law, and that's a fact. Don't look it up.
the Dread Aliens be good too. I haven't read that one. I only read a part of the Superman Aliens because I didn't give all the different books, so I can actually finish it up. But,
Be careful with saying his name because YouTube doesn't like it if it thinks you say something else. Someone's YouTube channel got nuked because they said his name because they thought they were talking about something related to a trash panda.
Oh, wow.
No joke. He's right.
Predator versus Tarzan. I haven't read that one either. That'd be a good one too.
That would be a good one. I don't know. We
Yeah.
might get sued if we do that one. I hear the Tarzan family is pretty litigation happy.
Mm.
Wow, really?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
There's a reason. There's a reason Tarzan basically doesn't exist anymore. Disney doesn't use them because if they do, they have to pay big royalties to them. And
You know, like that. Remember that crazy lady would sue everybody for making.
Eleanor, yeah, and she got slapped down by a judge finally.
Finally, because the judge actually did his job and actually this is different cars. They were even not going after that Carol Shelby for making like Shelby Cobras. It's like,
Yeah.
no, the car is called Shelby Cobra because I'm Shelby.
Uh huh. I'm assuming then you know about B is for Build and his.
Yep.
Yeah,
I do.
that's how I found out about it. I was following that video every week, every time they uploaded.
They took his car.
And he never named it Eleanor. He accidentally said the word Eleanor in one of his videos, and they took it. And as far as I know, he didn't get it back, even
No,
after
he
the
didn't.
judge did his ruling. He started a new one that was completely unrelated.
They
I mean, it was like a
they just made sure not to call it just a 69 fastback rebody.
yeah. It was awful. I'm glad that she finally got smacked down with that, but
And
there's a whole bunch of people that have had their stuff taken with no
he's
legal
been going through
repercussion.
health issues. His cancer came back. So he's not been posting any because all that going on.
Yeah, the last video I saw of his, he had a 240Z that got smashed, and like the person had backed into it and was supposed to be dropping something off, and
He he was working on that big pontoon, that yacht pontoon. He put that on hold for Azima, not Azima, the big thing out in Nevada, SEMA.
Eczema.
Zima. He would always do these crazy timelines to build a SEMA build.
Yeah,
I don't know why I keep calling SEMA like the beer, like that weird wine cooler thing.
yeah, or eczema, like the
The
skin disease.
the
You got eggs?
but I think it's time for it to call it a night on the comics talk. And in 2 weeks we'll be talking about the Mutant Massacre of Marvel Comics, which I'm looking forward to reading that one because I have no clue anything about the story?
I got a lot of homework to do as well. I'm not a big X-Men guy. This might
I'm
get me.
not really an X-Men guy either. The only X-Men I really read religiously was that Wolverine back in the 90s.
Yeah, like I think Old Man Logan was like the most of any X-Men I've ever read.
Have a good one, Darth.
Night, Darth. So JB was talking about doing Kraven's Last Hunt, and this says that Kraven's Last Hunt is the next event after Mutant Massacre.
Oh, that worked out good then.
So that'll work out pretty good.
In Kraven's Last Hunt.
See, y'all playing checkers. JB's playing chess.
Playing chess like what's it
No.
called?
While we're playing chess, JV just was like goes over and just flips the board and says, "King me, bitch."
Yeah, JB's playing chess like ChatGPT. I don't know if you've seen that video where ChatGPT plays chess and they just start making up moves. Instead of like moving a new pawn, they just spawn a new one in the spot. This is the new spot.
Everybody in the chat, thank you for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. It's always a pleasure, and guys, it's always great to talk geek stuff with you. Hey, we lost Kevin. He was like telling us about the Mutant Massacre, and his connection died out.
And his connection got massacred.
Emotional, damn it!
And
There you go.
do Kraven's Last Stand. Maybe JB will join in the conversation.
No, I've got the Mutant Massacre pulled up on my phone. I'm gonna get to reading that pretty soon. So
Alrighty. So, tomorrow night we got the Whip It customizing stream on my channel, and
I got stuff to work on now.
Now whip it good.
yeah,
all right. And Tuesday I'll be doing more Batmobile.
Same bat time. Same
bat channel.
All right, guys. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
Goodbye.
Vanish.